Okay, so I busted a move when we went on our last break because I love to dance. My daughter will tell you I'm not good at it, but I love to dance. So something came on and I went like this, yeah. And Shelly said, I dare you to do that when you're on stage. So, yeah. All right. So I am really happy to be here. And one of the things I do, as an intelligence officer in the Army, I used to analyze bad people. And I spent 15 years figuring out what bad people were going to do. Because there are 4 basic personality types, there are 4 leadership styles, and most people, unless you have multiple personalities, I can figure out what you're probably going to do. It's based on nurture and nature and your personality type. But I spent a lot of time doing that. And I used to go into classrooms and talk to students about why we have intelligence people. And one day my daughter looked at me and she goes, you know, it's really creepy when you do that. Because after about a couple minutes, I can tell you how tall you are, how much you weigh, if you're right-handed or left-hand, what your dominant personality traits are. I could do it pretty quickly because it was part of my job. But then I retired from the Army the first time, and I became a public school teacher. And the counselor put me in a classroom with some of the toughest kids in the school because she thought I'd be a good role model. I am basically the size of a 13-year-old. And I walked into a classroom of high school students, 40 of the toughest kids in the school. And my job was to teach them leadership. So I started with this. Every year, 10,000 students assault teachers in the classroom. So you need to know that I'm a 3rd-degree brown belt in martial arts. If you touch me or anybody else in this classroom, first I will contain you while one of your classmates calls the police. Are we clear? Great. Welcome to high school leadership class. All right. But what I did discover was I can help people figure out what you're good at. And I don't tell you because if I tell you, it doesn't have the same power. But I can help you walk through very quickly what you're good at because the questions that people ask are pretty similar. Oh, goodness gracious, go backwards. And yes, I know there's a typo on the second bullet statement. But these are the questions we ask ourselves all the time. What am I good at? What is my purpose? What do I want to do? Or the other one is, what should I be doing? And I'm going to tell you right now, stop shoulding all over yourself. Don't do it. And the last one is, if there's any architects in the building, please grab me on a break and tell me why there are never enough women's bathroom stalls. Ever. So for those of you who haven't hit your 50s, this is not as important to you. Okay. But I'm going to go through this pretty quickly. And the reason I do it quickly is because women, we have a tendency to overthink everything. So when I say you get 2 minutes, I'm actually going to time it. You instinctively know what you're good at. And women are afraid to say out loud, I'm good at this, because you think you're being arrogant. You're not being arrogant, you're being honest. What are you good at? So I make you do it very, very quickly so you don't second guess yourself. So this is a list of the things I've done. Business leader, mother. I have 3 kids. All 3 of my kids were born with an autoimmune disease. My youngest one was born with such a hearing problem, he couldn't actually even put 2 words together till he was 3.5. He didn't sleep through the night until he was 5. So I went for 7 years without a good night's sleep. Not an exaggeration. So I'm a retired military officer. I'm an Army paratrooper, so I jumped out of perfectly good airplanes with a parachute. I'm an Army linguist, so they taught me Spanish so I could figure out the drug traffic people in Central and South America. Please don't go there on vacation. No, don't do it. I was a college athlete, NCAA athlete. I set track records in my school. I coached for the Army, and I auditioned for the U.S. Army Olympic team in distance running. To quote Maxwell Smart, I missed it by that much. I was a high school teacher here, and by the way, I'm not ashamed to say I am a superhero. I picked my son up from football practice one day at Bishop Kelly. Now remember, 122 pounds, I'm the size of a 13-year-old. One of his friends walks by and I said, hey, look, there's Yvonne, because we've known Yvonne since he was 5. He goes, yeah, Yvonne's mom thinks you're a BA. And I looked at him and said, is that good? And he goes, yeah. I said, what's a BA? And he goes, it's a bad, and Shelley told me I couldn't swear, so we'll just stop there. All right. Well, we're going to go through this pretty quickly. Now, these 2 phrases, the one on your right, yeah, your left, I truly believe this. Everybody, when they're little, says, I listened to a 4-year-old tell his mother in the grocery store the other day. She's got 3 kids, 7 and under, and he's going, Mom, I'm going to be a fireman. Mom, I'm going to be a fireman. Mom, I'm going to be a fireman. She goes, that's nice, sweetie. Get on the cart. But most people, when they're little, go, I'm really good at this. I know what I want to do. Sometime around 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, that message shifts. That paradigm shifts. And you start paying attention to what you're not good at anymore. I'm not tall enough. I'm not smart enough. I don't know how to make conversation. And the one I hate hearing people say is, I'm not good at math. You do it all the time. You just don't realize it. You are good at math. But people right around middle school start saying, I'm not. Those two things don't go together, because deep inside of you, you know you are. But it's not cool when you're 13 to go, I'm good at this. It's not cool to say I'm smart, I'm a good athlete. So right around 13, you shift the paradigm in your head. So my job is to help you shift it back, because every single person in here is a Wonder Woman. It's not just a movie. Everybody here, you've heard Inspiring Peoples, you met people who run great businesses back here. Everybody here is this. What happens on the other side is I was a public school teacher here in Idaho, K through 12. I have never heard a student say, yeah, when I grow up, I want to be average. No, nobody says that. You want to grow up and be who you were born to be. So some of us need a little encouragement. Like, my mom is 79 years old. My mother still tells me all the time she loves me and you can do this. And she'll go, God, you look wonderful today. Your speech was great. I love to hear you sing. Wow, I have a built-in Wonder Woman. She is caring, compassionate, encouraging, inspiring. I have one built in. Not everybody has one, so you need a little extra help. There. Do you need coffee? Do you need chocolate? Do you need Ryan Gosling to bring you both? Works for me. But everybody, I always say this, everybody needs one person to believe in you besides yourself. Just figure it out who it is. Write it down somewhere. My girlfriend Wendy's in the room. Wendy, shout out. Where are you? Okay. Wendy right now is my supporter. We go and walk every twice a week with her dog. So everybody has gifts and talents. Are you using them? Are you opening the box? A gift is something you're always good at. A talent is something you developed over time. I was not born with computers. I have learned how to use them over time. I was not born a good runner. I learned how to do it over time. I was not born a good pianist. I'm still not a good pianist, but I sit down and play. But everybody has gifts and talents, and you use them. When you start to use them consciously, you'll see a shift. You'll see a shift in what you're doing. You'll see a shift in what you're thinking. Are you using them? This one reminds me of my son. My youngest one was born with a significant hearing problem, projectile vomiting. He had a broken bone in his jaw, broken bone in his collarbone. Nobody could figure that out because he was too busy screaming because of all the other stuff. But he would get on his bicycle and ride around the neighborhood with a cape, black rubber boots from Walmart, shorts, and a tie-dye t-shirt because he owned that outfit. He owned it. He believed he was powerful. And I tell him all the time what he was good at. Hey, buddy, you're really good at that. You're really funny. You're really affectionate. You need one person to remind you what you're good at. So you get to be the hero of your own story. So you heard some tremendous stories. You heard people who overcame a whole lot of stuff. I don't usually tell people my story because like, yeah, that's such a downer. Such a downer. Yeah. But I'm going to do it in a really quick snapshot. So I spent 26 years in the Army. 15 of those years were sexual harassment and sexual discrimination on a daily basis. 3 times my promotion was taken out of a promotion packet by a man who didn't think we needed any more female senior officers. 3 times. 3 times. I woke up with someone on top of me. I was pushed up against a wall in an elevator. I had somebody send me obscene notes in the middle of a staff meeting. I had somebody embarrass me in a room full of my peers, and I was a lieutenant colonel at the time, and he was a colonel. Right. I was stationed in a country where there were 5 coups while I was there, and every day there was violence in the streets. Twice I went, pardon me, Shelley, shit, I don't think I'm going to live through this. I just wanted to have a dog, a house, 3 kids, and I wanted to be a teacher. And I don't think I'm going to live through this. Right. But at some point, it's not like that song by Bonnie Tyler, I'm holding out for a hero. People don't show up to rescue you because you can do it for yourself. You can do it for yourself. So I put this one up here. It's a guy in a makeshift costume with a Thor hammer. You don't need a cape. You don't need permission from anybody to be yourself. However, I get this one a lot, especially from ladies. Well, I don't know what I'm good at. I'm just a homemaker. Wow, you're not a homemaker. You're a life maker. You care, you nurture, you support, you inspire, you comfort, you prepare, you get people places. You're not a homemaker, you're a life maker. And by the way, when your toilet is plugged, is unplugging a toilet a superpower? Yeah, absolutely. Who's really good at gardening? Like one shy person put their hand up. So gardeners are earth healers, right? Who's good at being funny? Because I've heard like 6 so far. Who's good at being funny? Humor actually makes people relax. So if you have a message to share, when they relax, they learn. I use a lot of humor when I talk and when I teach. Who's really good at cooking? Because it's not me. I open boxes and cans and stick it in the microwave. You just raise your hand. Is that a gift or a talent? When you were like 3, were you making mud patties outside and go, yeah, this is good? All right, so this is a gift for you. And then you developed it over time, right? So all the stuff you already know how to do is important. Are you caring? Are you compassionate? Are you funny? Are you a good listener? Are you a good public speaker? Are you a good learner? Connie is the master of connecting people. Are you good at connecting people? Those are all gifts and talents, and they're wonderful things because they make the world a better place for you and everybody around you. So what does Peter Parker tell people he does for a living? He's a web designer. How many technical people do we have in the room? Be proud of the fact that you're a tech geek. How many people do we have? Those skills, for those of you who do tech really, really well, you're a strategic thinker, you're a tactical analyst, and you're a connector. You understand big pictures and you turn it into small pieces. Those are incredible skills. Incredible skills. People often ask me, well, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to be doing this. What am I supposed to be doing? You get to create your own path. So when I did this exercise, I was 43 years old. I was a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserves. I had a whole chest full of medals. I had 3 college degrees in the military version of a master's degree, and I taught the first year of a military master's degree. And I kept going, this isn't fun. I'm not having any fun. I don't look forward to going to work. And I turned down the opportunity to be a general. So my general sat me down and said, I only have 2 officers in my division who are going to make general, and you're one of them, and I want to help you get there. He asked me twice to do this, and twice I said, I can't do this. I have 3 kids at home with an autoimmune disease. My father has Parkinson's, and my father-in-law had his 3rd open heart surgery, and nobody would touch him. And I had the flexibility to be able to stop what I was doing unless I was out of the country somewhere, to stop and help people. I said, I can't do that, sir. I can't do it. And when I did this exercise, what I really discovered was the thing I feel passionate about is teaching. That was it. So when I was 6, what do you want to be? A teacher. 16, what do you want to be? A teacher. When I got my college scholarship, which the military paid for, what do you want to be? A teacher. And they said, we don't need any of those. Do something else. What did I end up doing in the military? I was a military teacher. Then I became a military, our version of a principal. And when I retired the first time, I became a school teacher. You know what you're good at. So you create your own path. So I'm going to do a joke before you go into the exercise because you're like, oh, this is really hard. I don't want to do this. It's really hard. So there were 3 guys sitting on a boat, and they're fishing, and nothing's happening. They've been out there for a long time. It's hot. They're sweating. Nothing's going on. So after a couple hours, they've talked about politics, religion, sports. They've talked about family, their kids, their jobs, and it's quiet. The awkward silence sets in. And one guy looks at the other, and he goes, okay, if you could only have 3 words at your funeral, what would they be? Wow, that's kind of deep. Everybody's quiet for a little while, and the guy who posed the question said, I know, 3 words at my funeral. Very successful businessman, very philanthropic. He goes, I got it. Entrepreneur, leader, philanthropist. Oh, yeah, that's good. That's you. That's good. Couple more minutes of awkward silence. Second guy goes, I got it. I got it. Big family man, big into scouts, involved in his church, really involved in the community. I got it. Father, son, brother. Yeah, that's it. Last guy sits there. Awkward silence sets in. Post guys look at him and go, come on, buddy, spit it out. 3 words at your funeral. He goes, got it. Look, he's breathing. So when I did that exercise with my husband and son, they came up with driven, enthusiastic, and selfless. Not what I would have come up with, but it actually fits pretty well. And being driven, being selfless and enthusiastic transfers to every single thing I do. I work one-on-one with people, I work with businesses, and I just founded a nonprofit. Those 3 skills, those 3 gifts work everywhere I go. So what you're going to do now is on your table in front of you. There are little 3x5 cards. I got the colored ones, and I gave you a superhero sheet. So for those of you who looked at that sheet, what is this, 8th grade? I am not drawing on that thing. You can use the 3x5 card. But I recommend that if you do this, when we're done, you put it somewhere you can see it. I put mine in my bedroom. It was on my bathroom wall, and then I put it in a frame. So I look at it all the time because it's me saying, I'm doing this, I'm good at it, I'm great at it. So take 1 minute, I'm going to time you. I'm going to count. Write down 3 things that you're good or I'm great at this. Are you done? If you got 3 already, keep writing. I had somebody do 74 once. It took 24 hours, but she came back the next day with 74. Okay. You have 10 seconds. Back away from the pen. Okay. Who came up with at least 3? At least 3. Who came up with more than 5? Whoa. Who came up with more than 10? Whoa, really? Oh, we got 110 in the back. How many did you come up with? 10? So what I'm going to ask you to do is I want you to take this home tonight and put it down and don't touch it for 24 hours. And get up tomorrow and keep adding to it. And if you get stuck, ask someone you really trust and love to help you. Like text them, call them, ask a friend, a spouse, ask somebody to help you, because I'll guarantee you have 20. I guarantee you have 20. I put up some of the, next one is some of the typical things people put there. Physical strength, there's moral strength, there's intellectual strength. If you have any of those, write it down real quick. If you stand up for other people, if you stand up for yourself, you have moral strength. I can do a plank for 5 minutes and keep talking to you the whole time I do it. I also have a gift of sweating, so I'm not going to do that. But that's physical strength. But those are the kind of things people never say. I'm really, really good at this, but it matters. Okay. When you start identifying what I'm good at, you put it in front of yourself all the time. Like I actually kept it in a wallet and a 3x5 card after I did this exercise. I did it for a couple years. What are you good at? Because I had to get rid of all that paradigm of growing up being told you're ugly, you're stupid, you'll never lead anybody. Why can't you be pretty like your sisters? Why can't you play the piano like your sisters? And this wasn't coming from my parents, actually. It was coming from my schoolmates. I was like the butt of all jokes in 8th grade. I was bullied so much in 2nd and 3rd grade that my dad put me in martial arts and I did judo. And by the time I beat up the 2 biggest bullies in the neighborhood, nobody messed with me again. Nobody. So I had to get past all those messages I heard, all the messages I heard in the military that said, you'll never lead anybody, we don't need any females. I'm an Army paratrooper. I did the Ironman competition. I beat every single man in the competition. Every single one. But I had 42 years of stuff floating around in there. So I kept that card where I could see it. Wonder Woman. Who watched the movie? Oh! Yeah. Wonder Woman. What are her gifts? Just shout it out. Determined. Strong, truth. Bravery. Yeah. Pardon? Oh, she had faith. Yes. She stuck to it no matter what. Fearless. Run into that fire. Fearless, right? Tremendous strength. But the other thing she did was she focused her efforts, right? What was her calling? Because she told you in the movie what her calling was. What was her mission? From Ares, the god of war. She knew what she was focused on because she was beautiful, talented. She was like, she got Chris Pine as arm charm. Who wants that? But she focused her efforts on what she really felt passionate about. She felt passionate about speaking for truth, justice, and protecting other people. That's her calling. So when you focus your gifts and you figure out what your passion are and you put them together, what you get is your superpowers. You become your own Wonder Woman. So the next thing you have to do is figure out what you care about. So this one, I have 3 things I'm really, really passionate about: pets, vets, and kids. I was in the family that took in all the pets that the neighbors abandoned, the ones that were hurt. We took them all in. We had so many that we actually charged for a zoo one time. We had so many pets. I have a disabled veteran son, and my father's 100% disabled, so I'm really one of the sole sources of support for my parents right now. Veterans. Very passionate about that. And the next one is kids. And it's not kid like stopped at age 18. Every single person I know still has an amazing child inside of them. What are you good at? I love working with that. So I want you to write on that 3x5 card on the other side or on your superhero sheet at least 3 things, again, 1 minute, that you're really passionate about. 3 things. Did you already get your 3? Yeah? Did you get your 3? Okay, you done. Okay. All right, back away from the pen. So yesterday at lunchtime, I heard a lady, she was sitting over here, shoulder-length brown hair. She was wearing a dark shirt. It looked like it was brown or maybe burnt orange. And she's a social worker. She's passionate about helping people. And she was very clear on what she was good at and what she was passionate about. She said, what should I be doing? And I'm sitting over here going, give me the mic. You're already doing it. You're caring, you're compassionate, you're interested in people, you're empathetic, you're a good listener, and you're a social worker. Wow, did you dovetail that one? But sometimes what you're doing as a paid job is not aligned with what some of your passions are. It might take you a while to get there, or you could continue to do it as a volunteer. My husband sits in front of 3 computer screens a day, and he designs tiny little chips that are so small that they have to have a computer make them. But that's what he does. It pays the bills, and we've had a lot of medical bills. So, sit in front of those 3 screens, honey, but if it was me, just kill me now. But you give my husband a field with a ball and a bunch of kids, and he can coach like nobody's business, and that's where he gets his energy back. So sometimes you're doing it volunteer, but most people are already doing it. You just don't realize it. Okay. And everybody needs someone who believes in them. Who's your sidekick? Do you know who it is? If you know who it is, write it down on a piece of paper. Write it down on that sheet of your 3x5 card. If you're not sure who it is, think about it. Think about it. You have to be the first person, but who else believes in you? Who is it? I got my mom, and I got a 12-year-old little dog who thinks I walk on water. I got 2 people every day. Okay. So I've got about a minute left. But I want you to take this home. You know what your superpowers are. It's your gifts and your talents and where you're going to put your effort. And when I do this exercise, it usually takes about an hour. Like Connie said, I take you on a walk. And about an hour later, we've already figured all this stuff out, and you thought we were just taking a walk. I do it with organizations and people, but I really believe that. If you align what you're good at, what you feel passionate about, what you feel joyful about, with the things you care about, you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you can stop shooting all over yourself. You're doing it. Okay. And I'm going to end with this one. So everybody has to step out on a ledge sometime. Right here. And you got to go, if you want to walk on water, I got to get out of the boat. Okay, I'm going to step out into it. I'm going to finish with this. The difference between the word victim and the word victor is 2 letters. What is it? Or. You can do this. And if you need someone to believe in, you couldn't think of anybody, write my name down, and I'll give you my card, and text me, because I am hard of hearing. I won't hear the phone ring. But text me. I know you can do this. I believe in you. Thank you.